Have you ever got up one morning, you're a little early for work, and just said, you know what? I'm going to take the long way. So, I'm going to talk to you about a little perspective on riding a motorcycle and driving a car and the differences. Just going to show you my rig. Got my bag with my coffee. My top box got all my lunch, and everything's loaded, ready to go. Where's I? Gotta grab my keys, they're hanging off the side. I gotta put my seat up to put my bag on. I already had it warming up a little bit so I can take off. Another beautiful Northern California morning. Check my mirrors, everything's good, no traffic. You know, I stop at every stop sign. I don't roll through them unless it's, you know, I don't know, say an emergency or situation. I'll roll through them, but you know, I stop just like a car does, like most people do. Yeah, right. Most people roll through stop signs. Anyway, one of the first things is these manhole and sewer hole covers. You can see them; they're all over the road, and you don't really see them as much when you're in a car. You're not paying much attention, but if it's raining or it's moisture out, dew, they can get really slippery. So you try to avoid them, just especially when you're turning. You can see one right there. They're pretty much all over the place. Always really double check side streets. Make sure somebody's not running through. Intersections are vital. Like right now, you want to really watch left and right. Make sure nobody's blowing the stop sign. We're going to turn left in front of you. You can see there's manholes, sewer access holes all over the place. Here's, look to the left, to the right, make sure nobody's jetting out. You just got to be careful. You want to do that in a car too, but it's really critical on a motorcycle. You're pulling up here, you want to look for dogs running out too. To stop here, you want to make sure there's no gravel on the road. And you put your foot down. I always put my left foot down and get rolling. You know, I hear a lot of people, well, not a lot, but a few, talking about having gear shift indicators on their motorcycles. You know, over time, you pretty much know what gear you're in the more you ride, based upon the fact of how the engine's revving and how fast you're going. So you just kind of count when you're shifting down so you know what gear you're in. So, you know, a lot of motorcycles come with gear indicators, fuel gauges, all that kind of stuff. You know, there's always ways around it. I mean, when we used to ride back in the day, we didn't have any of that stuff. So you just had a speedometer. So for me, it's not an issue. But, you know, my perspective is different than a lot of people. So I look for different things when I ride, and I always watch out for different things. Some people don't. Some people don't think it's, you know, maybe it's overkill or overthinking. But like I said, you know, you ride your own ride. Watch videos and see what applies to you. It's a lot of guys, you know, aren't always correct, or their riding styles might not be your riding style. Like I heard the guy the other day talking about he likes to ride 5 miles an hour over the speed limit or over the flow of traffic, and the traffic's going 60, he'll go 65. If the traffic's going 80, he'll go 85. If the traffic's going 100, he'll go 105, which for me, this doesn't work at all. You know, but one thing he did talk about is the blind spots, which is something you don't want to ride in. And of course, with this bike, you can't ride on the freeway anyway, so you don't worry about that. On my other bike, I would. But, you know, I always try to just stay out of people's way, stay out of blind spots, and, you know, and put myself in the lane, the position in the lane where I have an out, or if something happens, I can, you know, get out of the way. Watch for people next to me. If I'm riding in a freeway, I don't want somebody next to me. You know, like obviously not in a blind spot, but just so if something happens in front of you, some piece of wood or something pops up in the road, or a ladder or something, you can jet around it. For me, if you're going faster than the flow of traffic, you're always passing people, and anybody could make a split-second decision, just turn your lane, it's over. So I just rather stay in a situation where I'm just not in harm's way at any time. So that's the way I ride. So you also feel free to comment on anything that you can add as I'm discussing, you know, kind of the differences, the perspective of driving a car on a commute or a motorcycle. One thing about a motorcycle, obviously, I don't like to ride in the rain, and, you know, sometimes you do get caught in the rain. Here in California, you know, you kind of can predict the weather pretty good. I've only been caught in the rain a couple times in my life, and it wasn't that big a deal, but because I wasn't going that far. But it's no fun, definitely. Some guys are really hardcore, and man, my hat's off to them. I ride in the rain, you know, fog, and yeah, I'm just not going to take a chance. I'm a fair weather guy. I want to enjoy the ride. I don't want to fight it. Like right now, you know, you got a car right there poking out a little bit. You don't know if he's going to back out. There's nobody in it, so no problem. You're always watching. In the car, you don't have to worry as much. You know, you do get, you know, the cold and the heat and the different smells, which is kind of neat, because in a car you don't really get that unless it's a real pungent smell that comes through into the cabin. On a motorcycle, you'd immediately get it, and the temperature changes going by, you know, orchards or stuff that's, you know, fields that are being watered. Like coming up here, you want to watch, there's water in the road right there. You know, I don't know, it could be oil. If it's oil, you know, definitely you go through it, you're going to have a problem because your tires are going to have oil on them. This guy's turning. He's got his blinker on, finally. Again, you don't know if somebody's got their blinker on. They could have left it on by mistake. So you got always defensive riding. Another thing I talk about is gearing up. This saying goes, all the gear all the time, and that's what I do. I ride with gear all the time. You never know. You know, it can save you from getting skinned up, getting broken up, or dying. So yeah, you might just have a small mishap and you just drop the bike and, you know, got your gear on, you don't get hurt at all. You know, if you don't have any gear and you just drop the bike, you're going to get hurt. So it just prevents getting injured. I see something on the road here. I don't think it's something that just happened. And it could be grease or oil. Like, you know, my bike does have a fuel gauge, which is nice, but I'm at 100 and almost 127, and I got 1 bar left. Last tank I got was 121.5 miles a gallon, which was exceptional, especially gas is almost $6 a gallon. It's a nice open road here, but you know, you still got to watch. When I see any flickering or anything behind a tree or any kind of movement, you're always watching. You know, something I like to look forward to is I have my, you know, when you're on your bike, you're just like this little capsule going down the road. You got all your stuff. Got my coffee, my breakfast. Maybe you just get to work and take a break and have a breakfast and, you know, drink your coffee in the morning. It's kind of fun, you know, especially on a bike like this. It's so small. It's like a little pack horse. Got everything loaded up, and it does a really good job, though, I'll tell you. You know, most of the time the traffic is, you know, not going to go over, you know, 45 where I go. There's a couple of sections of 55, but like right now is a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I mean, you know, people usually ride about 10 miles an hour over, but you know, that's the speed limit. So It's nice. Obviously, like I said, you can't get on the freeway with this thing. Not enough power to get out of the way, or not enough power to go fast enough. So, like right here on this turn, you want to make sure you see the gravel. You're gonna go around it. You know, you're not hitting that and going down. That's definitely can be an issue real fast, and nothing you can do about it. You got an airport over here that has a small airport. Got a little cafe, and got Life Flight just down here. A couple helicopters. There's one of them there. Yeah, I'm really spoiled to be able to have a commute like this. Don't have to deal with much traffic and get to see the wildlife and trees and the vineyards and the orchards and the berry bushes, these oak trees. It's got a new. Oh, this is wow. Looks like they planted olive trees. Wow. You know, they're tearing out a lot of vineyards and they're looking for other crops to put in. Looks like olive trees are the choice. This is new to me. Haven't heard much about that. Actually, I had a buddy of me. He said he went on ChatGPT and was looking at what crop would be best to plant now for the future, you know, for a business. And he said that first was pomegranate, second was olives. So there you go. Must be a market for olives. There's definitely not a market for grapes right now. I mean, just getting hit from all sides. Less people are drinking. You know, you see the gravel on the road there. Be careful. Oh, here we go again. Some more olive trees. Yeah, but less people are drinking and people are hanging on to their money. You know, wine's expensive. They're drinking the cheaper brands from the grocery stores since the vineyards getting tore out. So the wineries, you know, they can't sell their premium. Just definitely a struggle. Sales are way off. Just got to reinvent yourself. It's definitely not the same world it was several years back. Coming up to a stop here. This guy, make sure he doesn't go wide. You never know. Lots of gravel to the left there, and there's gravel here. You got to make sure when you put your feet down, you're not putting it on a chunk of gravel and, you know, slipping. This bike is forgiving because it's so light, but you get on a heavy motorcycle and I mean you got to watch every step. Not to say you wouldn't do it on this, but well, then, like I said, this is my perspective. This is what I do. This works for me. I'm not going to do what some people do, and maybe I will do what other people do if it makes sense for me, if it's going to keep me safe. Like I see some people on motorcycles wearing all their gear and others wearing nothing, wearing tennis shoes and short sleeve shirts and a half helmet. You know, not for me. You know, you go down, you blow half your face off on the asphalt and get road rash down to the bone. I mean, you're going to be crippled for months. But, you know, if you want to take the chance, that's up to you. It's your what you want to do. It's not what I want to do. So do what you want to do. Ride your own ride. I see others that only ride certain motorcycles. They crap all over other motorcycles. And ride what you want to ride. I ride all kinds of motorcycles. Like this one. A lot of guys wouldn't even be caught dead on something like this. They'd be, embarrassed or ashamed. Some guys don't even wave at you. It's just like, I don't know what they think. I don't care. I love this thing. And I love my big bike. And my big bike can, challenge any bike on the road. I don't do it, but it doesn't define me. Some people are defined by what motorcycle they ride. Is whatever. If that's the way they want it, that's cool, but not me. What do we got here? Somebody's tearing out a bush or something, or got hit a tree. Tore a tree out. Forgot to turn my headset on. My wife's probably trying to call me. She always calls me about halfway through the ride just to check on me, so we'll see if she calls. I forgot to turn it on. That's one thing you don't want to do is forget to do stuff. Like I check my tires every time I ride, every time. You never know, you could have picked up a nail or something in the road and your tire's flat and you get on it, you don't know, and you go around a corner and wash out. You want to do a visual of them too, and you want to check your chain. I got a chain on this. My other bike has a shaft drive, so I don't have to worry about that. But you want to look for things. You just kind of look around the bike and see if there's anything leaking or loose, or unlike a car, generally you don't check your tires. You pretty much only check your gas gauge, and we should all get in the habit of checking these things. It's definitely a safety issue. But yeah, I should have turned my headset on. Didn't even think about it. There's some water in the road there. And it's like I said, it's so nice on the motorcycle. It's just so peaceful out here. Especially going slow, you're not in a hurry on this thing. So you get to see everything. Like I said, the new olive tree is going in. You might not have caught that just tooling down the road. Now this guy turning here, if there's somebody coming the other way, you got to really watch, because they could just jet right out in front of you. Like you saw the guy right up there that took a little wide turn. Not to say he would have hit me if I'd have been over to the right here, but at the same time, you got to watch for that kind of stuff too. Got a open road, nobody behind me. You see, this stretch is 55 miles an hour, but I have nobody behind me, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, this is probably the most traveled road that I go on my way to work, so I have to be really careful here. You got to watch for deer, squirrels, whatever, popping out in front of you, rabbits. Maybe even dogs. I had a dog the other day run out to greet me. He was like smiling, playing. He was like being real playful, but you got to watch. He went out right in front of me. And I always hang over to the right lane here, because if you got traffic coming the other way, you got a lot of slow vehicles out here like tractors and stuff. Cars get jammed up behind them. They get impatient and they want to pass, and You're in the lane, they don't see you. If you're over here, they don't see you coming. So you want to stay over on this side. This is what, like I said, this is what I do. Like this truck right here. You got to make sure he sees me. I might go back and forth like this so you can see my headlight. Driving lights are great to have. I have them on my other motorcycle. I'm going to get some for this because I only have one little headlight, and I leave it on bright so they can see you. But yeah, just stuff like that you got to be conscious of. Another thing too is that there's, I say the argument, but my motorcycle's black, my helmet's gray, my jacket's black. I don't have a lot of high vis stuff, although I have reflectors on my jacket. You can see at night. But they don't see you. If you have, this is my perspective again, great to have a white helmet, like a jacket that's orange, or so they can see you. It's high vis, man. It's great. So people can see you. They won't run over you. But at the end of the day, you want to not take that for granted. Like, okay, so they're going to see me no matter what. You still got to ride safe. You got to always watch what's going on. Watch people, in a lane, if they start swerving over towards you, or, pulling out, whatever. Yeah, you gotta always watch. You don't think that having high vis clothes and a high vis motorcycle is going to keep you safe, even with lights all over it. People still miss you, and they'll run over you. I do have to share that. Oh, my wife's calling. Hey. Yeah, I forgot to turn it on. I've been talking about that right now. I've been talking about how you can't forget things. And that's one thing that's not super crucial, but you got to check your tire pressure. You got to check your chain. You got to check the bike, before you get on the ride. Check yourself too. You got to check your head to make sure that your head's in the game to get on the road. So anyway, yeah. So now I'm on Davis right now. So I took the long way. Yeah, there's a lot of olive trees being planted. I'm going to have to ask at work today to see if that's something that they're hearing. So maybe that's the next crop. I was talking to Mark the other day, and he shared that he looked up what crops are the biggest crops right now, the most profitable, and he said pomegranates and olives. So that was pretty. And he said they're a lot easier to grow. Grapes take a lot of work. They try to, right now they're trying to squeeze every ounce out of every grape. It's just a tough market. Anyway, okay, well, I'll call you when I get to work. All right, bye. Yeah, I was talking, getting back to the high vis. On my other bike, I have some running lights on it, and they're on my crash guards down, so it makes kind of a triangle. The two lights on the bottom, and they're amber. And before I put them on there, I'd come up to, like, say, maybe not this. Yeah, I guess it could be this. But where you're coming up and you got a crossroad, that's coming into your lane. People coming from this way. And people stop and they kind of roll through the stop sign. They don't completely stop. And you'll see that ahead of you. They're coming into your to the road, and they won't stop. They won't stop completely. They'll just kind of roll through it. And what happens is, when I had the lights installed, man, people come to the stop sign, you can see their car, just the front end, just boom, go down. They're stopping because they think I'm a cop. Because the cops have all their lights, so they don't want to run the stop sign and get a ticket or something. So that definitely does help. So on the lights, I don't know if people think I was a cop on this thing or not because it's so small, but still, they're going to hopefully see you. But again, I'm not taking that for granted. I could be lit up like a Christmas tree and have the orange jacket, helmet, you know, all that stuff, reflectors, and still, you know, you still might not be safe. This is like riding with gear. I mean, it's just going to protect you in maybe small mishaps, but if you get ran over, that's definitely not going to help you. So you always got to feel, you know, you got to feel like you're naked out there all the time. Oh, another olive orchard there. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely different perspective on a car and a motorcycle. You know, I think I drive my car like I ride my motorcycle. I'm always watching, and my wife kind of, she gets on me sometimes and say, well, you know what? It's just the way it is for me. I just want to be careful, you know, not be so careful or drive so slow that you're going to cause issues on the road. But, you know, gotta be cautious whether you're in a car or a motorcycle. I'm pulling in here. See if the gate's open. If it's not, I have to sneak around in the dirt. So I didn't bring my opener. No, it's open. It's like all the hard-working guys are here today. You guys start early at 6. The lifeblood of the winery. That's where it all starts. That's one thing nice about this. It's so light. It's like a bicycle. You can push it back. And well, that's it for the day. I finally arrived at my destination and shut this thing down and get my gloves off. I hope you guys have a great day and catch you on the next video.